G'day guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the emergency storage shed. We have to get something out of here today, and I have a bit of a dilemma I want to talk to you about. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing. Okay, so I'm trying very hard to empty this shed, and we've been doing a bit of tunneling in the last sort of month or so, heading down towards the back wall. The excitement of getting to the end of the shed sort of growing, and there's some really interesting boxes. Now, what that's sort of left is rubble in my wake and new stuff coming in, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm really trying not to add anything new to this shed. The microwaves are, because they had to come off the deck, and I really don't want to clutter up the deck again. We had all our family here for Christmas, and it's a great spot. It shouldn't really be shed stuff storage areas. But all this shelf here, we did empty all this side, and it's refilled with projects, and I have to put my projects somewhere, and I've got a lot of repair jobs to do, and I've got boxes of stuff, and some of the boxes are labeled repair jobs. Just about everything on this shelf, except maybe there's some parts and things from a deal I did, and I'm waiting to see if there's any more parts turn up. But I have stereos and VHS players and CRT TVs and car radios. I think I was going to put those on eBay, and they ended up being put here. More VHS players or VCRs. A Hitachi boombox that I promised you all I'd do a restoration on, and I haven't got to it. And then if we go to the other side, actually I haven't added too much to this side because we haven't done this yet. We've been walking past it thinking we'll get to that at some stage. There's some really interesting looking boxes down there as well. There's a few things I want to keep and I don't have room in my shed yet, like the welder there. There's a bench Lenisher there. There's a couple of boom boxes I've got to fix. There's an old isolation transformer that I really probably should sell. I'm not going to use it. There's a really cool old 40s era oscilloscope that I couldn't bring myself to sell, but do I really need it? There's some stuff down here. There's a 12 volt air compressor and my little 12 volt transformer. I do use that. There's a tub of mid-grade circuit boards to be sold. There's a bit of scrap metal in buckets. It's because I don't have any other room. My main workshop is so cluttered I can barely swing anything, let alone a cat. And there's stuff up the top. All right, we haven't done the top shelf at all. That's fine. In the middle here again, there's... Oh, we looked at that, didn't we? So, yeah, most of this shelf we actually haven't done. Most of this side we have done, and then I've been refilling it with stuff that I have to put somewhere. So a lot of them are repair jobs or perhaps restoration videos in their own right, and the stuff will be sold. I don't need to keep all that. In fact, I don't need to keep hardly any of it. So what am I going to do? I thought rather than trying to give you a half-hour video or sometimes even longer of unboxing, which everyone loves, I love, it's great discovering things, but it does take a lot of time. Not only, you're only seeing half an hour of it, it takes me a lot of time to process it, to clean it up, to price it for the shop, edit the video, and I just am really not getting time to do anything else I want to do. There's some really cool stuff on this side to get into. And of course, I'm doing my e-waste videos that do take a lot of time as well, but I don't want to quit that because I'm saving a lot of stuff from going to the tip, which pleases me. And I have got a bit of a following now for people checking out every week what new electrical stuff I have for sale. But I want to keep forging ahead into these boxes. But my plan is I'm going to have to knuckle down and make myself a little bit more disciplined and get on to some of these repair jobs, or quit them and sell them as needs, parts or repair. I just want to do everything, and there's not enough time left in my life, in each week, each day. And, I have to sleep sometimes and have to eat occasionally. So I'm thinking I'm not going to renege on my obligation. I'm still going to get something out of this shed every week. But rather than do 2 boxes, or if it's a big box, rather than do the whole lot, we might just do half. We might just do one item, as in one bigger thing, rather than just deal with that and then get another box. And I know some of you will be disappointed because you love going through the mystery boxes and pulling out more stuff. And I get a lot of comments saying, you should have done the other box on that shelf as well. But I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to get something out of here every week, but I might just back off on the length of the videos. We have to deal with that too. I'll talk about that shortly. I think we might do that one today. And then I'll try and squeeze in an extra repair job each week, or an evaluation and a pricing or something like that. I know not everyone likes repair work, electronics, clocks, everyone has their own thing. I'll try and mix them up a bit. What's in that tub? Oh, just some tractor parts from the farm. So I'm still sorting out a lot of farm stuff, and I kind of need to put it somewhere to see, you know, if there's more of a set in another box or something, because things got jumbled up a lot. All right, well, that's my dilemma. I think I've decided what I'm going to do, but I welcome any input. I really want to continue with my cleaning out of this storage shed, but I might just back off on how much I get each week. It might only be a 10-minute video one week, or as long as we do something, we're meeting our obligations. So with all that said, let's get one thing out of this shed today, and let's make it this display cabinet notice board thing. I'll get it out of here so we have a better look. Might take it up to the studio. I've mentioned a few times I have a plan for it. I don't know if it's worth doing or not. Let's get it out and have a bit of a discussion, work out what we should do. Okay, I've just moved that narrow cabinet out, and I didn't mention, and you probably noticed, that I moved this shelf from last week that was here in front of these, the ones with the shell boxes on. So I've moved that across against the wall. And I've put another project on there, and in that box is more projects. They came from a deal I did a while back, and it's all vintage electrical stuff that I need to check. We also have that book press down there to deal with. We'll probably get to that next week and work out what we're going to do with that. But we are making more progress. I mean, that's more concrete real estate we've made. We are getting further and further towards the back of the shed, which is pretty exciting. Lots of boxes coming up. I think there'll be a fair few with books in it. There could be some more china. There's probably going to be more tools. And some of them, in fact, this one I'm actually excited about. This old Gladstone bag, and I have a feeling this case as well. For some reason it sticks in my mind. I remember the old guy, he would have been in his 80s maybe, came into the shop probably 10 years ago with these two things, and I have a feeling I have shed tools and things in them, and he said, I'm cleaning up, I thought you might like this. I don't think he wanted anything for it. I remember giving him 50 after just opening it and having a peek in, but I have no idea what's in there. And if there's something amazingly good, unfortunately I wouldn't have his contact anymore. I'm always meant to get to it because I was interested the day I bought it and put it aside and thought that's going to be cool. And I've never ever looked in there again, and that would have been 10 years ago. So that'll be pretty cool. I like that anticipation. Of course, it might all be just junky bits, but I remember I gave him 50 straight up just after a bit of a look, and he was surprised. I don't think he wanted anything for it. But anyway, one of the many things we'll get to. So let's walk up to the deck and work out what we're going to do with this cabinet, whether I really need to keep it, whether I should just sell it. I don't know. Let's work it out. So here's the deck at the back of a house, and as you can see, it's gradually acquiring more stuff, and I've got to stop this. I want to keep it neat and clean so we can use it. There was a microwave dropped off the other day. I can't get it down into my shed yet. There's a couple of vacuums I've just got to test and probably sell. There's a whole heap of these light fittings I thought I might even do a video on. We'll get to that shortly. There's a tool chest upside down there. Christine picked up one at a garage sale recently, and that's one that she had in her room, so I'm going to use that, but I have to free up the wheels. That's why it's upside down. There's parts of a piano that I've just done a scrap out on, and you'll see that video shortly. And this is some e-waste that I have been through, and it's ready to go to the shop tomorrow. So there's not a lot of junk here, but I want to keep it neat and clean. There's something that I'm not going to move away, is this lovely old girl. Hello, Coco. You awake, Coco? Oh yeah. Lounging in her daybed. There we go, movement. So yeah, it's a lovely area here. We have our studio in here where we do table tennis training, and we used to have some dances at times. Really nice fernery. It's a great spot out here. In fact, this is where I do a lot of my photos for my electrical stuff that I sell on Facebook, because it's a nice backdrop and the light's generally good when the sun goes over a bit. Now, this cabinet, I believe it came from an old bank. I think it was custom made to go against a wall, and it was a notice board. So it's not very wide, and it would have been screwed to the wall. It's got a really nice old handle, and I think this door still actually opens. So as you can see, it's mostly just a frame with a door on it, and it's not very deep. but I thought it might make a really good bottle display. I am a bottle collector, and I reckon that screwed to the wall, maybe painted white, although I do like the timber. Maybe we can paint the inside white, and put shelves in it, and maybe some LED lighting, and it'd be a fantastic display from some of my antique bottles. And I thought, I haven't discussed this with Christine, but I thought a good spot for it might be in our studio. As I said, where we have our table tennis table. And we used to do rock and roll dancing, and actually had some videos. We've got a channel for our rock and roll dancing, but we haven't done anything for a long time. I do have a fairly rapidly growing boombox collection there that probably shouldn't be there either, but I've got nowhere else to put it. And just to balance up things in the universe, Christine has a bit of a stash of fabric in here as well. But I thought maybe this wall, one of the walls, maybe somewhere in here. I don't know, most of the wall space has been used, because I don't really want to put things at the ends of the room, because the reflection might muck up with our table tennis training. Here's some of the dances we used to do back in the day. Oh look, more fabric. And oh look, more clocks and electronics. We're as bad as each other. So I don't know, what do you think? I could probably go there. There's a nice enough spot there. We've got fabric hanging on the walls to stop some of the echo, because it was almost impossible to film in here when we were doing our dance classes and whatnot without all the echo. So the fabric is a noise absorption thing, and it does work quite well. But maybe one of these spots against the wall, I could set this cabinet up, have some LED lighting, and show off my old bottles. Maybe not. Maybe the room's too cluttered as it is. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm not doing anything today. Maybe I should just sell it. I don't think we've got anywhere in the house that I could put it. Okay, I've just been walking around looking for a spot to jump out at me and say, hey, it would be perfect there. But I can't find anything. I'm leaning towards selling it. In fact, I'll make that decision now with the right to change my mind if someone comes up with a really good idea in the comments. It's a little narrow. If I was to have it for a bottle display, I would actually need to extend it a bit, which becomes a big job. And given that I wanted to paint it white on the inside anyway, I could do that with modern timber when I'm ready to build a bottle display. It's not exactly an important job at the moment. I'm better off getting some of my stuff processed. So I think I'm going to sell it. At this stage, I think I've made a decision. I'm going to write it down as $50. Someone else will probably love it as a display item. I'll take it to the shop, and I'll hopefully get this video up tonight, and I've still got a couple of days before we open the shop on Friday. So maybe you guys can change my mind, but I'm thinking I'm better off spending time on other things. I can always build a display cabinet out of something that can custom fit a certain area. It's a nice piece. I like it, but I've got to make decisions. So thanks for watching. We'll call this video finished. Just a real quickie. It's part of my it won't take long to get up regime now, so that I can work on something that's in my road. I have a bit of a fun game with Christine, that when she walks out to see me or bring me a cuppa or something, and she kicks something, because it's always a bit of a rabbit warren and a bit of a weave to get in. If she kicks something, that has to be moved. So she's been kicking a few things lately. I better be careful, she might kick me. So we'll leave it at that. I'm going to sell it unless you guys can convince me otherwise. I reckon I can get $50 for it. Someone else will probably love it. And we'll move on now to maybe an extra repair video this week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.